Joining me right now is Arizona State Senator Jake Hoffman. Thanks for doing this. Can you hear me okay?
I have no audio right now, but I'm sitting next to you. Okay. I got you, loud and clear.
All right, so let's talk. First of all, I didn't even know you were here in town. Let's talk about the week. What do you think of the messaging? What do you think of what is being told to the American people? Do you think it's going to resonate outside this bubble?
Listen, I honestly do. This is an electric experience. When you look at, the content of these speeches, when you look at the messages and the tones and the emotion that are coming through from these speakers. Yesterday we heard from the Gold Star families, just heartbreaking, gut-wrenching stories. The day before that, when it was Make America Safe Again, we heard the stories of parents and family members of victims of illegal immigration crime, right? Murders and things like that. And Alvin Bragg, right? The corrupt prosecutor in New York, dropping murder charges, right?
Well, and the mom who lost her son to fentanyl came on the show yesterday. She was on Media Row yesterday, and I didn't know this until she spoke, and I don't know if you heard it in the speech. Her kids were all born in Scottsdale. Her children were born in Scottsdale. So it puts a face on some of these issues where it isn't just this abstract argument. These are real people with real lives.
Well, and here's the thing. Look, what's become air apparent from this convention is that the Republican Party has become the party of the everyday, average, hardworking American. The Democrats love to try and claim that mantle. They try to act like they're the party that stands for the people. But when you look at their actual policies, they only benefit the elites. They only benefit the ruling class. Whereas here, we have Republicans giving a message of hope, giving a message of vision that we're going to restore the American dream, not for Republicans, but for every person that calls America home.
Can they defeat that image? Because, again, I've talked about the working class conservative my whole life. That's what I've been, working class. And so I think that I hear that. I heard that last night from J.D. Vance. I thought he did a very good job introducing himself to the country by talking about that meager beginnings and how he could have gone either way, and he ended up becoming a candidate for vice president. But will that message resonate outside of this bubble? Do you think that they will be able to defeat that image that's been portrayed about them? I'm saying all Republicans, that this is the party of the elite.
Well, listen, this is not your grandparents' Republican Party convention. I mean, when you have Amber Rose with the primetime slot, right? I mean, this is clearly a convention meant to communicate to audiences that regularly have not been a part of the fold. We are a big tent party, and I do believe that it's going to resonate. Look, J.D. Vance came across as one of the most likable people that I've ever seen in politics.
And his wife was spectacular.
Oh, my God. She did an amazing job, right? And the little stories, like the fact that, he's this Marine veteran, but yet she said that he likes to play with puppies and watch the movie Babe, is just such a real moment between a husband and wife shared with the American people.
The story about his grandmother and the 19 firearms in the house. So let's shift to the Arizona races, because you brought up unity, big tent party. There was a big rift in 2022.
There was
in factions in the party. Arizona's got the Republicans have a one-seat majority. You know better than anyone in the House and the Senate. Can they, and if the answer is yes, what do they need to do to keep that majority or even expand it?
Well, listen, the Republican Party message, the platform, the principles that we stand for, they have lifted more people out of poverty and benefited more people, not just in the U.S., but worldwide than anything else in the history of mankind. So our issue is not what we stand for. It's Republicans have to get out of our own way. That means we have to come together. We have to make sure that after this primary on July 30th, that whoever the Republican nominee is, whether that's Carrie Lake, I believe it's going to be Carrie Lake, whether it's Mark Lamb, whether it's Don Hyatt or Justin Heap, it's going to be Justin Heap, just as a spoiler for you.
Okay.
But no matter who it is, we have to come together and make sure that we win come November 5th. And I think if we do that, if we put kind of the tribal politics aside and focus on that vision for America and the vision of helping everyday working people in our state, we're going to win big in November. We may even pick up a seat or two in the legislature.
All right, so Jake Hoffman is joining us. He is a state senator here in the state of Arizona. I got to ask you about your response to the fake elector accusations, the mugshot. You were smiling in the mugshot. You sent it out to the media with a very bold response. Why do it that way? And can you talk about what this case is and why you're approaching it the way you are?
Absolutely. So just as quick background, in 2020, the Republican Party in a number of states, had a plan, right? It was a plan based on, precedent from history. And so we submitted an alternate elector slate, a weaponized now Department of Justice in the state of Arizona under a corrupt attorney general, probably the most corrupt attorney general in the entire country, which is shocking because we have people like Fani Willis and Alvin Bragg out there. She decided 2 years ago while she was running for office that we were criminals before she had ever conducted an investigation, before she was ever authorized to make that decision. She did it as a campaign ploy and now is trying to fulfill this extremist campaign promise to her radical base. It is a weaponization that is detrimental to our Attorney General's office, not just right now. It will be detrimental to our Attorney General's office for years to come. I can tell you the reason why I was smiling in my mugshot was because I am 100% innocent. I know that the truth is on my side, the facts are on my side, the law is on my side, and we are going to fight these charges vigorously, and I know that I will be vindicated by the judicial process from this naked political persecution.
So how do you push back? And you have to understand the average person that doesn't know anything about this process, what they see in the media, what they read in the media, and they continue to see the phrase fake electors. The headline was, a judge lets fake electors go to the convention. We saw these headlines. How do you push back against that, where even if people would say, well, maybe you didn't do anything wrong in the letter of the law, but what you did was wrong. How do you respond to that?
Well, look, the reason why the reason why I come on shows like you is because, Mike, you're one of the few journalists that still exists that is honest, that is unbiased, that you will look at a situation from both sides, you will give both sides equal time, you will seek to understand, and then you will allow your audience to make a decision. That's not, unfortunately, what the rest of the media does, right? When you have places like the Arizona Republic, which, keep in mind, is not a local paper anymore. It's run by the USA Today network, one of the big leftist media entities in the nation. Okay, they have this fake elector narrative that actually was spawned from Democrat political operatives pushed by Rachel Maddow on MSNBC of all places, hardly an unbiased outlet, and hardly an unbiased host, right? And so the idea that calling something that's been a constitutional process that has benefited Democrats in the past, it has never benefited Republicans, but it's benefited Democrats. JFK actually, he got picked up electoral votes because of this very strategy, a strategy that was championed by hardcore leftist operatives like Van Jones on CNN.com, 2-3 months before the 2020 election. This is all political spin and propaganda. And so what I would tell your audience is, look, don't buy the hype. Do your own research. Actually, I find it incredible because that's been a theme at this Republican convention. We've had multiple speakers, Amber Rose being one of them, that said, I was convinced that Donald J. Trump was a racist. But when I did my research, when I didn't listen to others, I actually went and took the effort to go do my own research. I found out he's not racist at all. Instead, he's actually incredibly compassionate. He has a huge heart and is a great human being and has worked to help all people, whether it was in the private sector, whether it was through benevolence and charitable work, or whether it was as president. He's been working on behalf of underserved people, on behalf of underrepresented groups his entire life. And I believe that it's the exact same thing here. When people do their own research, they will see that this is a process that should not be demonized. It is a process that, quite frankly, I think in 2024, we could see the Democrats do the exact same thing.
So let me ask you one last question, and I'm going to go back to another topic as we finish. As far as the unity platform, the unity idea in Arizona, there were two camps in the last election cycle. Right. You had Kari Lake, Karen Taylor Robeson, and you were definitely in one side or the other. But both sides need each other to be successful. Do you believe there is a pathway where someone like you that was on one side of that can actually come and meet in the middle with people and work with people in your party that didn't agree with the same things in the 2022 cycle?
Well, listen, despite the media narrative that there is division within the Republican ranks, I get along great with people like Karen Taylor Robeson. I may not always agree with her. I may choose to to support someone else in a primary election, but I have a great relationship with people like that. Like TJ Shope in the Senate. TJ and I have a wonderful relationship, even though we don't always agree on policy. That's how our party is supposed to work, and that's how government is supposed to work. We don't always have to agree, but we should be able to have robust, debate, disagreement, be respectful, and at the end of the day, we understand that whatever wins, wins. And I think if we can do that, perfect example. I'm supporting Carrie Lake for the U.S. Senate. I think she has done an exceptional job reaching out, extending olive branches, and really making an effort so that those folks know she wants all Republicans to be involved in this campaign. She wants all Republicans to be involved in our party. This is not the party for the, for the grassroots only. This is not the party for the, the donors only. This is a party where we want every person, no matter who you are, no matter what you look like. If you are with us, we want you.
Jake, I always appreciate the time. Jake Hoffman, he's a state senator. Thanks for coming by.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Tap to watch the first season of Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast. You can also click the button in the middle to subscribe.